Olá pessoal, estou aqui com Michael Allen, um especialista em aprendizagem e em ferramentas para aprendizagem, para falar sobre a avaliação das tendências que nós vimos nesse congresso. Eu sou Wagner Tassimiro e este é o Espresso3. Michael, a pleasure to be with you here.
Thank you.
So in this event we saw a lot of trends like microlearning, gamification, adaptive learning. What are the reflections that we need to do before going into it, and what are the pitfalls to avoid?
One way I look at all these trends is an attempt to avoid the serious work of instructional design. It seems to me that we want to do everything but the most important things. So if there's a way around them, something that just makes it easy, we're drawn to it very, very quickly. But there aren't really better solutions than thinking very carefully about what kind of an experience is going to help an individual learner. And it can be delivered in so many ways. The cheapest way is fine as far as I'm concerned. It can be enhanced, you know, we can do Disney level 3D animations if we want to. But you can deliver excellent training with just audio, you know. It doesn't require all of these various technologies and ways to make what we're trying to do look good. We just have to engage the learner's mind. And there are so many ways to do that. But attention is the first hurdle we have to have. We have to get learners thinking about the important things, right? Not thinking about how pretty is this screen or this animation or so on, but thinking about the fundamentals of better performance. You know, I have so many little axioms that help me out, but one of them is that a learning experience must be meaningful, memorable, motivational. I think of it as those three things multiplied times each other, m times m times m. And if any one of those is a zero, the outcome is a zero, you know?
Like garbage in, garbage out.
Yeah. So, you know, if you can't remember a learning experience, you might as well not have had it, right? Because it's not going to guide your performance. If you didn't understand it, that isn't going to guide you either. And if it doesn't motivate you to apply what you've learned, then it doesn't matter what you know, right? If you don't use it. So the 3 M's are just really, really important. And I think the way we do that is by putting people into experiences where they may be simulated, where they can imagine themselves in a difficult situation. Can be so many different kinds. I hate to use an example, but you could be at a store at a return desk and somebody is bringing you a product that your company has never sold and they want you to take it back. You know, what do you do? Because you don't want to insult them and you don't want them to hate your company, but at the same time you can't take that product back either. You know, there are so many situations that provide a context for learning, and context is the first thing that every learning experience needs to have. I need to put you in a situation that you can imagine being in that maybe scares you a little bit because you don't know what to do, right? And then we add to that a challenge. We need you to perform. I do all of this before I explain anything, any content to you, because now when you're faced with a challenge that you may not be able to meet, you might ask me for help. And as an instructor, I'd much rather be in a situation of being there to help you rather than to tell you things that I hope you'll remember. You know, so the challenge comes next, and then I want you to have open, active response possibilities. So I don't like a multiple choice question, because I've done a lot of the work for you. I've already identified 4 or 5 different responses you might make. But I'd rather you look at this challenge, think of all the options you can think of, and then evaluate each one before you take one. Like if I just tell this person, no, it's against policy, then what do you think the consequence of that will be? Or if you say, oh, I really would like to help you. This isn't a product that we sell, but I think I do know who does sell it and where you might take it, you know? What might the consequence of that be? So if you think of all of the options you can think of and choose one, then I want to give you feedback in terms of consequences. This is what happened. How do you feel about that? Do you think that was a good solution? And I just try to build almost every learning event around those 4 components, which are context, challenge, activity, and feedback, CCAF, right? And it doesn't matter to me if I'm using virtual reality, if I'm using a phone, you know, what all of these technologies I'm using. If I have those 4 components going for me, the chances of my success are pretty high. If I'm skipping over those things, then no matter what technology I'm using, I've probably missed a big opportunity.
Yeah. So do you agree that we get so excited by new technologies that we forget the basic stuff and the fundamental?
Absolutely we do. I mean, we're all kind of seduced by this fun stuff, you know. We like to do something different and new, but it's not necessarily better. Now, I don't mean to say that new technologies can't be useful and helpful, because they can be. But if you forget the basics, then the rest of the stuff is a waste of time.
Oh no, a tool without a purpose is just a tool.
Yeah,
Use it.
that's right. That's
So
right.
thank you so much.
Yeah, my pleasure.